What an honor. What a day. Hi, friends, supporters, and all Portlanders. This is our first video that will go out with our newsletter. And it's just amazing to launch this with news from last night. Our campaign has been endorsed by the Northwest Labor Council. The Northwest Labor Council is the umbrella organization for all of organized labor in our great city. We are so honored. And we continue to be the campaign with the most labor support of any candidate running for city council. And there's a reason for that. From the first day I decided to run as a longtime union member, I made clear I only wanted to campaign with the support of my sisters and brothers in labor, and I only wanted to campaign and, if elected, serve on behalf of the labor movement. So this endorsement is a credit really to every single person who has put work into our campaign early on and donated to our efforts to spread our vision of what we are about, putting the power to run our great city in the hands of working people, which of course includes those people who worked hard their entire lives trying to earn a fair wage and are now doing their best to live on their savings and retirement life of dignity and security. Because when we have that power, we will push for higher wages for all, a 4-day work week, an end to corporate welfare in the city, and an agenda that puts more money in the pockets of every single worker. Because at the heart of every challenge, and I believe this from the beginning, we face in this city a simple fact: people just don't earn enough money. The city metro wage, for example, while certainly higher than the immoral federal minimum wage, is still a poverty level wage for a family, which means folks have to choose between paying for gas, groceries, or the rent. Yes, the rent. It's not a mystery why we have a houselessness crisis when people lose their homes, because they can't afford the rent. Now, our campaign is quite different from most every other campaign. We are being very clear that if we want to really make this city livable and vibrant for all the people, we have to take on the corrosive economic system and corporate power that has robbed people in our city every single day and across the country, not to mention polluted our environment. You can't dance around this. Our problems have little to do with divisiveness or fighting or not getting along, which you, the voter, I think, have probably heard from, 95% of the candidates out there, which is what I hear from them. It's all about economic power. And a city council that to date has served first the elites, the wealthy, corporations, and the people who are doing just fine. Now, we can change that system, and it's the reason that I decided to run, because I think that we can change that system because of our new setup in government that we're looking forward to in 2025. But we have to say what the real problem is out loud, and we have to be very specific about ideas that take on economic power and hand it back to the people. And especially, we have to stand with, and I will, stand with, work with, and support union organizing and bargaining. So I want to spend the last few minutes here today to connect my first comments to something I'll be doing today and a great victory of just a few days ago, because I think it's very relevant to our city. I'm a proud UAW member. Here's my member pin. I've been a UAW member for 32 years. The UAW is a union that has led the fight not only for better wages, but for justice and civil rights. And in a few hours, I'll be headed to Swan Island, just a few miles away from here, which is in my district, the 2nd District, to take part in a rally with my fellow UAW members outside the headquarters of Daimler North America. It's a day of global solidarity with workers at Daimler Trucks who are just trying to get a fair share of the record profits being made by this company. Check this out. Since 2018, Daimler Trucks has seen a 90% increase in profits, but its workers have fallen further and further behind. Now, keep that idea in mind. Just this past Friday, and I know you've read about this because it's been all over the news, workers at the Volkswagen plant in Tennessee voted by a 3-to-1 margin to join the UAW. An overwhelming victory for workers, which I was immensely proud to watch. There's a connection here between this stuff and my campaign to represent you. Tennessee, a red state, right? A conservative state, a state that doesn't take kindly to unions, right? Well, presto, workers rose up and dealt a crushing defeat to very powerful economic interests in opposition to all the political establishment in the state and around the region. And they're now organizing to keep that up at Daimler. I always believed, and I have taken this idea to this campaign here in Portland, when it comes to money in our pockets, none of the typical labels matter if we unite people around a shared interest of making a decent living and making very clear that we all live in an economic system that is hurting everyone. And corporations and CEOs are exploiting us wherever we live. I think we have a great chance in our city with a clean slate to lift everyone up and be a model to the nation. How we, the people, use the great wealth we have to make a great society. But we can't dance around the truth. We can't be talking about these general fuzzy ideas and talking about, oh, we just don't want people to be fighting amongst each other. That isn't the problem. Our campaign, win or lose, will be about telling the truth that if we want to change this city, we have to take on the economic system and turn it into something that benefits all working people. That's it, my friends. I'll be back with a new video. The next one will be on our plan for a 4-day work week. Feel free to drop a note to me with your thoughts at jonathan@jonathantassini.com. I'd be happy to read your ideas and your feedback. And in the meantime, sign up here to volunteer for the campaign, to join me in the streets talking to voters. And if you can, and you aren't yet maxed out as a contributor, that means that you've given already $350, which I know some people have, and I thank you for that. Please consider a contribution to help pay for the basics of our campaign. So solidarity.